Welcome to Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil, the official Monster Jam podcast. I'm Scott Jordan. My guest this week has been involved in one of the shortest semi-retirements in professional sports history, but we're happy to have him back in Monster Jam and back inside a monster truck. We go to the Zenny Optical Hotline to Ogden, Utah, to welcome in Earthshaker driver Cory Rummell. Cory, welcome back to Inside Monster Jam. Good to have you on, man.
Thanks, man. It's glad and awesome to be back. It's been a short hiatus, but it's super happy to be back, and I'm just having a blast.
So you set the Monster Jam internet community on fire over the fall with your Instagram post announcing you were stepping away. We're going to throw that up here for our viewers to take a look at, but starts, well, no better time than now to announce everything's been going on after driving for 11 years for Team Scream. It's time to step away. You give all your thank yous. You tell everybody that you're going to be focusing on your business, and it's not goodbye. It's just see you later, and you hope to see everybody soon. I assume when you wrote this out and posted it, you had no idea you were going to see everybody that soon after it, but we'll get there in a second. Let's talk about your decision to step away after 11 years. How long was that on your mind?
Man, that decision's been brewing for probably about 2 years, I'd say. You know, it's just been a long time of just being on the road 100%, fixing trucks 100%, which I don't miss. I do miss, actually, but I love working on trucks. I love working my hands. As you can see, they're dirty at all times. But it got to be too much, and it's hard to explain, but it's just like from being on the road constantly and missing your friends and family and things that are going on. It's like the independent life is amazing and I love it and it got me where I am, but it takes up literally, it feels like 9 days of a week, and it's just never ending. So it's like, well, you can only do it for so long, and it's like I've been doing it for 11 years. I feel as if I got like enough backing with my side business and everything to turn to my full-time business now. And now it basically just got to where I'm like, you know what, I'm comfortable enough where I can step aside, not do monster trucks full time, just do it on the side and have fun with it and actually enjoy it like we used to do. And that's what I did. I'm like, I have enough income on my own now where I can relax and have some fun and go on vacation. Like back in December, I got to go to the Florida Keys for a week. I've never been able to do that in 12 years of getting ready for first quarter prep. So it was kind of amazing and a surreal feeling.
So with the life of an independent driver, you're on the road with the rig, you drive up and down the road, you're fixing the truck, you're driving the truck, and I understand you said that was a lot for you to be away from your friends and your family and home for so long. Was there ever any interest from you to maybe become a fleet driver and drive for Monster Jam to maybe lessen that load a little bit? Was that a phone call or discussion that you ever had?
Not that I had it, but I would absolutely love to have that phone call, because I don't want to be away from Monster Jam and monster trucks in general, just because it's been my family for so long, and Monster Jam basically got me where I am today, because without them, I wouldn't have the publicity, the interaction, just everything. And I don't want to go anywhere, but there's only so many positions and so many seats to be filled. So if I get a phone call, phenomenal, but I have no idea. That's something that could be in the future, but that's out of my hands at the moment.
What is the business that you have at home that you're now focused on? I know a lot of fans were asking that question. What are you doing now? So let's talk about what that reason was. You mentioned the timing, but also to focus on your business. So what are you doing?
Well, back home, I got my own fabricating business, and for years, as everybody knows, I built my own trucks. I built Jim Kohler's trucks. I built all the housings. I've done all that, so I'm very good with my hands, and I'm very good at fabricating. Well, for years, I've been gathering up tools and parts and supplies and everything, and just it has been ungodly the amount of work that I've gotten from building custom monster truck stuff to I've been building stuff for Amazon warehouses. I actually just got a phone call yesterday about doing a job for SpaceX. So it is absolutely incredible the amount of fab that needs done in this world. And since I've met all the connections through Monster Jam and just everybody I've met all around the country, they literally keep me busy. So I have a CNC lathe, CNC mill, CNC plasma table, welders, TIG welders, MIG welders. I have everything I need to where I could build an entire chassis and parts and pieces for anything known to man out there. And that's what I've been doing.
Besides just building trucks, what is the most fun or outrageous thing that you've ever fabricated and put together?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. You got me on the spot on that one.
That's my job. My job is to put you on the spot. But I've seen some, I've seen some crazy things. Yeah, I know the metal shop fabricated like this giant tiki bar and like this truck that, this truck that kind of floats in water as well. So I'm sure that you have some crazy things on your mind. If there was one thing that you could work on, what would that be?
Well, it's actually my new project car that I want to start building. It's going to be a four-wheel drive, four-wheel steer, four-wheel IFS suspension, like mini Pro 4 truck. So I started gathering all the parts for it, and I want to start building that this summer.
How long is that going to take you?
If I worked very fast on it, I guess maybe about a year. But it's just a project I want to do in between doing, focus on my business full time, but like get caught up in my
All right,
personal
we're going to
trucks
have to
and
put that on
project.
pause, man. We're up against the break. Coming back more with Cory Rummell and Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. My guest this week is Earthshaker driver Cory Rummell. Cory, I apologize for interrupting you there. It's ironic that we were talking about how much time it takes to build your dream project when, in fact, we ran out of time for you to talk about it. So I apologize, but I'm looking forward to you expanding on that dream project and seeing that. Before we move forward with Team Throttle Monster, I do want to touch base with the relationship with Team Scream. So when you realized you were stepping away, was that a phone call you made to Jim? Did you see him in person? How did he handle that news?
Well, basically, Jim, he only lives a mile away from me, and I still worked for him for up until the rest of the year just because he still needed parts done. I still needed to get my business up off the ground. So basically, I still continued working for him, just not traveling or driving for him for the rest of the year. And it was able to help me basically continue my business and make parts, but I wasn't really involved in the monster truck side of it. I was basically just a customer, or he was a customer of mine, basically, is how it ended up working. But I mean, I talked to him almost every other couple of days. I'm still great friends with the guy. And the whole leading up to me leaving, it was basically me and him both talked about it for several months of it happening. It wasn't just a, hey, dude, I'm done. It was, a lot of respect and a lot of respect earned and given back and forth of we both worked through it and made it happen.
So then you get a phone call from Team Throttle Monster. I want all the behind-the-scenes details on how this conversation happened, when it happened, who was calling you, and what was discussed, because our fans are dying for the curtain to be peeled back. So talk us through that call and let us know how this became an option for you.
Well, it was definitely out of nowhere because starting January, I was actually out on the road, actually at Monster Jam headquarters, helping out, working on some fleet trucks. And then I ended up getting a phone call from Mike Christensen only like 2 weeks after me leaving. And it ended up coming down to, hey, we know, we've traveled together, we've raced together, we know what you can do. We know it's an arena tour, but if you're interested in coming out and we need some help for a few weeks, I said, let's do it up, man. There's a lot of cities that I haven't been able to go to because I've only done stadiums. So then I got the schedule, and I'm like, let's do it. This seems awesome, and been having a blast so far. So, and Mike definitely owed me some favors, so I'm cashing in.
So have you stepped into not just a driver role, but have you stepped in also to a technician role with them? Because I know when you work for Team Throttle Monster, you're basically all hands on deck, and everybody contributes to the team.
It's definitely the mechanic's role. I mean, I still have to help do the semis every other week. I'm not staying on the road full time because I still have my business back home. But when we get to the show, and I still have to get my hands dirty, have to get on the trucks and make sure they're good. And I'm still learning on how their trucks are because after 11 years of working on specific trucks, it's definitely a different animal. And I don't know exactly where their parts are and all that stuff. But I'm definitely here helping as much as I can. And anything they need, all they got to do is ask, and I'll help. And like I've been doing some of their chassis tube work and fixing and stuff like that, while they may be been working on the trucks, but I might be doing the fabricating side of it. So basically, everybody has their own little niches that they're good at, and I'm sticking with mine, and they're sticking with theirs.
They have some great young drivers on their team. Devin Winfield, Tim Hall Jr., Alex Barton, guy you're filling in for. Talk a little bit about your relationship with some of the drivers that you're on tour with. Berto Trevino, another one who's been around for a little while as well. But what are you in a mentor role for some of these drivers, trying to teach them some things, or are you just part of the team hanging out having fun?
Definitely a mentor role. Like I've had a lot of them come up to me and ask me like, how is this done? What's your recommendation? Because I've been around it so long, and they're all young kids starting out in this, and they kick butt, man. I mean, they're in there, they're in the trenches with all of us getting their hands dirty, and but they definitely need a little bit of help on, which we all do, because there's only so many things that you get taught by certain people. So it's also a nice, I guess, experience to see a different hand come in. Mike's been an amazing teacher for them, but now they got a different view on how I've been doing stuff, and there's things I've been teaching them, and there's some things I've been being taught by them. So it's definitely a cool experience. It's a different group of people, which is awesome. from what I'm used to instead of just being the same people for so many years.
So I see that you were telling me you're at Mike's house right now in Utah for the first time. How's that experience been like for you at the home of Team Throttle Monster?
It's actually really nice, and that's the coolest thing about monster trucks is everybody is one big family. No matter where we go, because we all travel around the country, everybody's pretty much open arms to anything that they have is yours if they're not even there. Like Mike is right now, I think, in Orlando, and he gave me the full keys to his house and said, "Here, have at it, and it's yours." I said, "Okay." So that's the coolest part about monster trucks is everybody is I guess, most open arms, like I said, friendliest people that you can ever ask for because we do this and it's a weird way to make a living, but we all make it happen.
All right, coming up, we're going to break down Cory's 2025 season driving Earthshaker. Stick around. More with the return of Cory Rummell to Monster Jam is next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam powered by Lucas Oil. I'm Scott Jordan. I am joined this week by driver Cory Rummell as we talk about his semi-retirement and his return to Monster Jam and Earthshaker. So, Cory, let's talk about your 2025 season so far. You were driving Earthshaker. You're filling in for Alex Barden at the moment. Let's talk about your first event back. Any type of adjustment for you? I know it hasn't been that long since you've been driving, but what did it feel like that first time to be back in the cab with your hands on the steering wheel?
First time back was absolutely unbelievable because, yes, I've still been involved with monster trucks, but I think it was last June or July was the last time I actually drove. So it was definitely, a good 7 or 8 months, however many months that's been of a hiatus. So it's definitely an awesome feeling to strap back in the truck and just see the atmosphere of Monster Jam, like the stands full of people and the banners and just, parked right next to it, just say Gravedigger. I mean, just who knows, like stuff like that. And being parked next to all these trucks like on our team, it was an awesome feeling to be back, and I missed it.
For over 11 years, you were driving the trucks that you either fully built or helped build. So what was this experience like for you to drive a truck that you did not have a part in putting together? Was it different? Did it feel strange since it wasn't primarily fit specifically for you?
It's definitely a strange feeling because so many years, like me and Jim have built the trucks to where we're very strong, but they might not turn the best and they're heavy. But going into another truck that's a lot faster, it's lighter, it's got a different rear end style, so it actually turns a little bit better. So it's definitely a whole new atmosphere to get used to, but it's been good. But I'm also trying to learn into tight buildings in the arenas that I'm not necessarily 100% comfortable in, but I'm getting there. But it's different atmosphere, and I'm definitely loving it. I just need a little bit more time to get involved with it.
Yeah, for sure, some adjustment because you've spent the primary portion of your career in stadiums. Now, obviously, each stadium tour does a few select arena events, so you have some experience. But with the adjustment for you, was it more or less just trying to do less in a more confined space? Were you trying to do more in a smaller space? Or what was the biggest challenge for you as you're trying to figure out how to drive these arena tracks?
The biggest thing is like what I'm used to is just basically launching the truck and let it soar and let it settle down and gather up before the next one. But this is like you have to be, which I can do it. It's you have to jump, but you also have to make sure that you can't clear the pod because if you do, you could come up sideways and you could hit the building. And there's just so many other factors you have to worry about that in the stadium you can just let her eat, man. Just send that thing across the sky and you have plenty of time to recover. In arena, you don't have that. So it's definitely a different animal. And what's really cool is I got to do like Tacoma and Fargo, which are some of the big floors, but still had the small pod on it. So it was awesome to be able to finally launch and clear the pod. But then we have to go back to other buildings, like just say Denver or something like that. It might have retractables in it. So it's weird that it's every weekend it's a different atmosphere because every building's different sizes. But it seems like when we did the stadiums, every stadium was the same size.
Now, you've won multiple awards throughout your career, Breakthrough Driver, Technician of the Year. Was there one thing in Monster Jam that you wish in that over a decade-long period, and maybe even now something you can build to that you were not able to accomplish that still kind of think about a little bit that I wasn't able to do this and maybe this can be for me down the road?
My one goal is I would absolutely love like a racing championship from World Finals. I mean, yes, I had the Double Down Showdown out in Vegas last year, which was absolutely incredible, and I still have the trophy. But it would be cool to actually win the main racing event. So that would be my one goal, that maybe one day if I ever get a phone call to drive somebody else's truck and have a chance to be a World Finals, maybe that can happen.
Yeah, I was there with you that night. I interviewed you. I tried to interview when you won. I think we've talked about this before, but somebody stole the keys to my golf cart, and I had to sprint all the way across. By the time I got to you, man, I couldn't even talk. I had to throw you the microphone. But yes, man, that was a great.
I messed that up, so I wasn't supposed to go out on the middle of the floor, but I ended up doing it.
Yeah, that's all right.
I just did it.
You weren't the one that took my golf cart keys. I blame Leslie Mears for that. Let's talk about your racing wins. You come back, you win racing in Oklahoma City and Fargo. I feel like Fargo is a good arena track for you because it's a deeper floor. But let's talk about those racing wins and how good it felt to be able to cross that finish line first and take home those wins.
Oh, it did feel awesome because, when I did step back, I'm like, I didn't know when the next time I was going to be able to get back in a truck. And then to be able to get back and actually get a couple racing wins and be on the podium and be in the middle of the pod in front of everyone and be like, I did it. It was definitely a cool feeling to like just full circle to come back and actually finally get a win after a little bit of while. And it was definitely a sweet feeling.
So let's talk about a bittersweet feeling, because I know that at the moment plans are not for you to be around on a permanent basis. You're filling in for Alex. Do you have any timeline as to how long you're going to be driving for Team Throttle Monster this season?
Time frame wise, I was told it's basically just like a 2-month deal. He had some personal things he had to take care of. So basically April 1st, I believe I'm back home and doing my business full time again. But I know that I've got some wins that I may be going to help out some other people, not necessarily driving, but just there's a lot of other fabbing stuff that needs to get done for just future projects. So I have that going for me, but I'm actually not upset about it because I was actually looking forward to maybe having one first quarter off after, I guess, 13, 14 years of doing the industry, just because I wanted to get caught up on things in life and my projects and just paperwork and just stuff around the house. And it's like, but I didn't want to not come back either. So it was definitely, it's a catch-22. You want to come back, but you also want a little bit of break. So I'm not upset about if I get finally a couple weeks off and be able to actually just get caught up on things.
I feel like you left on a high note because last year you had, I think, one of your most consistent seasons. You were in an epic battle for fourth place on the tour. I believe you were the highest placing independent, which has been something you've done many years. Did that factor into your decision? We'll go back to your decision to step away, but did it factor in that, okay, you know what, I had a great season. This is what I wanted to do. Now I can go out on a high note and, maybe I'll come back one day, but at least if not, I can be remembered for having a strong season.
And that's 100% exactly what I thought. I was like, I didn't want to leave when I was having a bummer year and basically make that my decision. And it's like, oh, I didn't have a good year. I guess I'm just not very good. Let me call it. I was like, I'm not that. I was like, I've been having fun. Everything's been going awesome. I almost kicked Barry's butt for the second time, but I didn't. But that's a project for another day. But no, that was the biggest thing. I want to leave on a high where people still remembered me and did everything. And that was my main goal.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Do you want to be, because obviously when you're as good a driver as you are and you are as mechanically talented as you are, there's always going to be a spot for you somewhere. People are always going to, I feel like, give you that phone call. Maybe Cory's available because you're doing a great job for Team Throttle Monster. But do you see yourself coming back at all full-time in a driver role? Or are you happy with where things are and just going to wait and see what comes?
I'm definitely going to wait and see what comes because I never know what the future holds. But I don't think I'd be wanting to do the independent life full time anymore because it just puts me away from where my goal actually is. But if there is an opportunity where independent or fleet or somebody was like, hey, maybe we could fly you in on a tour and do every weekend and fly you home, that would work. And I could make that happen. But I don't think I would want to do the independent life for, 12 months out of the year anymore. It's too much and it's too hard because there's just so many events that we do throughout the year.
Is there a truck that you would want to drive that if you got the phone call, it would be an immediate 100% yes, no matter what the scenario was?
I mean, obviously the given one. I mean, the black and green machine. I mean, I definitely wouldn't say no to that. It's every childhood's dream, and it's like there's no other higher truck you could drive than that. So if that did ever happen, I would 100% say yes. But if I ever had the chance to come back and I got to be back in Megalodon, I will take that one 100% also.
I think you're
synonymous.
synonymous.
Maybe we could do Megalodon on fire for the whole
There you go. Well, I think you're
best.
synonymous with Megalodon. Coming up, we are going to put Cory to the test to find out how many Monster Jam trucks he can remember he drove in his career. And that's next on Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil. We are back with more Inside Monster Jam powered by Lucas Oil. This week I am joined by Cory Rummell as we discuss his retirement and return to Monster Jam. Cory, another Instagram post that you put up was that Earthshaker was your 16th truck that you've driven in your career. So I'm going to put you to the test. We have about 2 minutes here, and I'm going to find out how many of those 16 trucks you can name in that 2 minutes. Now, I have painstakingly written all of those trucks down. They're on pieces of paper on my desk. So you get one right, I'll eliminate it, and we'll keep going. But 16, let's see how good you are. I gave you one, Earthshaker, so we'll throw that one right out the bat. So you got 15 more to go. Let's do it.
All right. I'll do red solo truck.
All right. Red solo truck. Perfect. Boom.
Frontier Auto Parts, I believe is what it was.
Frontier Auto Parts right there. That one's done. All right.
I'll do Zombie, Neon Zombie. Or no, yeah.
Zombie, yep. Zombie right there. Boom.
There we go. Megalodon.
Megalodon, and we can call that Megalodon Fire as well. So we'll lump those in the same.
I'll say that's a 1.5.
All right, there you go. There you go. All right.
Rage.
Yes, the original, the OG of your one true love. All right.
The OG. Avenger.
Okay, Avenger. Yep, right here. Boom, Avenger done. All right. Brutus. Yes, sir. There we go. All done. Making progress.
Wrecking Crew.
Yep. Wrecking Crew. Beautiful. Let's keep going. Spike is here. Yes, sir. All right. We're down to the last 6.
You put me on the spot now. It's hard to remember them all.
All right. There's you won the showdown in one of these.
Oh, Pirate's Curse.
There you go. All right. There we go. We can help that one. Let's see. How about we got another Team Scream truck here that you haven't mentioned yet? Axe. Boom right there. All right. We got a couple dinosaurs in here.
We got Jurassic Attack. We have Velociraptor.
All right. And there's one more dinosaur, I think, sort of. We got one with an outdoorsy name. 14 out of 16, my friend. Mid-America Outdoors and Rap Attack were on the list. Cory, thanks so much, man. You did great. Good to see you. Best of luck to you.
Thank you, guys.
That's all the time we have. We'll see you right here next week on another brand new edition of Inside Monster Jam, powered by Lucas Oil.